Hey everyone, my name is Rosie and welcome back to my channel. I thought it'd be fun today if we worked on a new spread in my collage journal, but made it a little spooky, maybe a little Halloween related. So let's first take a quick look at the two spreads that I've done so far already in this journal. So we have our fox friends, one is ordering space soup from the other, and then we also have these two sort of weird space scene collages. And now we have our blank new page. I figured since we're making a spooky collage, we should start with this cut and collage book that's full of bizarre images that I think we all decided when I reviewed those 6 books that this one was by far the creepiest, especially with all these medical images up front. So I thought it would be the perfect place to start for today's collage. When I was first thinking about this, I kind of like the idea of maybe doing something with skulls. Those are always really fun to work with. But when I was flipping through this book, most of the skulls in here were a little bit too big for my collage journal. And I also found some snakes, which I also really liked, but they were also kind of big for my journal, which is, I guess, a common theme. But I really do not mind the size restriction. It's just something I have to be mindful of when I'm looking for images. But I did happen to find these bat faces, which as soon as I saw them, I thought they were perfect. They're both oddly cute and furry, but also terrifying and very spooky. And I knew we could put these on some sort of body, whether it be a person or an animal, and create a little bat creature. And I just knew immediately when I saw these that I wanted to use them. So I pulled out 2 of those because I thought maybe we would make 2 little bat friends. I flipped through the rest of this book, but there wasn't anything immediately that was jumping out at me that I knew I had to use. So I put this book away. I pulled out another book that I thought might have some bizarre images in it, this collage book for spiritual seekers, which I've used a couple of times. And I'm really trying to find bodies for our bat heads, but also I'm willing to pull out anything that piques my interest. And that is exactly what happened when I found these trippy looking mushrooms. So I pulled those out. And after flipping through the rest of the book, I hadn't found much else that I was really into, but I had remembered this sort of half skull from the first book we looked at. So I flipped to that and thought that maybe we could have the mushroom sort of growing out of this jaw and maybe put some other things growing out of it. And I thought maybe a snake would be good, sort of slithering out. But all the snakes on this page were just a little bit too big. So I flipped back through the book quickly to see if there's anything else, but ended up moving on to just a different collage book. Again, on a hunt for bodies for our bat heads. It's very important. We need bodies for our bat friends. A lot of the images in this book are super colorful, which wasn't exactly what I was going for right now. But then I found these antlers, which possibly could go on the bat's head, just a possibility. But then a couple of pages later, I saw this black and white chair just sitting, staring at me on this page. And there was something so ghostly about it. And I knew I had to pull it out and use it somewhere because it just had this really great energy. And while fate was on my side, a few pages later, I saw this black and white kid just sitting there in the exact position that I needed for the chair. And the perfect size for a bat head. What a miracle. So this kid had to come with me for my masterpiece. And at the last second, I spotted the perfect bat friend body that could maybe be standing behind the chair. So I pulled that kid out too. And then just when I thought I was done with this book, I spotted a page of wings and I figured I should take out these dragonfly wings, just in case our bat friends needed some dragonfly wings. And those were all the ingredients I needed for my culinary masterpiece. But first, to cut everything out. It is now the moment of truth to see if all the weird little pieces I pulled out are going to at all work together. So we have to start with our chair and make sure our child fits perfectly in there. Oh, chef's kiss, that's good. And then we'll get the other kid behind the chair. I'm sort of going for, I guess, old portrait. You'd get a painting of your two children done in sort of a, posed fashion. Oh, and now we got to get the bat heads on. Ooh, that is looking good. And the dragonfly wings, I do think adds a nice touch. I was a little bit worried that they weren't going to quite fit on the page, but I do think if I shove them, behind the kid enough that they will fit perfectly. And I do think that just sort of adds one extra thing. And now the antlers, this is the one I was the most worried about it not fitting because they are large and in charge. And you know what? My gut was right. They don't fit, so we're getting rid of them. Now I do think we have to clean up the bat heads a little bit. I had left some of the fur on, the neck and the shoulders, I guess you could say. And I think if we clean up around the chin a lot tighter, this will be a much more smooth, head transfer. So I had to do that with both of the bats. I kept it on just in case, we needed more fur, down in the neck area, but I don't think we need it. So let's get that off. And then also, sorry kid, off with your head. We can't have your hair sticking out at all or your face sticking out. You gotta go. I'm sorry it hurts, but you need a new head. And it's just a much cleaner transfer, a much cleaner head transfer when you cut off the original head. I also wanted to make sure that this really looked like the kid was sitting in the chair. So I cut out around the arm of the chair so I could tuck the kid's butt behind the chair so it really looked like the kid was sitting in the chair. And that really sealed the deal. Sorry, kid, your head has unfortunately gotta come off too. Every time it feels, just a little bit bad, but that's okay. It's what you gotta do. Now, I also decided at this point that I think it was a lot easier and made more sense to put this collage on the right side of the page. I also think that it's going to be more of the star of the show for this spread, so I thought maybe it should get more front and center attention. So I switched it to the right side, which I think was the right move. Now, the only thing that I think is missing is this kid is holding a ball in their hands, and I think that that's not appropriate for our bat children to be playing with. I think a skull is a much more appropriate toy for this child to be playing with. So I think we gotta get the ball out of the hand and we gotta put the skull in the hand, and hopefully it's a smooth transfer. And I did have to cut out around all the little fingers, which was a little bit of a challenge. But once you slip the skull right in there, it's the perfect fit. And it's the last little finishing touch that this piece needed. And oh man, I'm super happy with this one, super loving it. But now we gotta focus a little bit of attention on the other side of the spread. I think these mushrooms look quite good in this jaw, but I do think that this is missing one thing, and that thing is, I think, a snake that's slithering up from the top of the jaw. Now, I looked in every single animal book that I own, every single one, up and down all the pages, and couldn't find one that I liked. And then I went back to the first book that we looked at, where it all started, and I found this snake, which at the beginning I thought was too large. But I thought, well, maybe we just use just the tip of the snake. I shouldn't say it that way. Let's just use a small section at the top of the snake and have that come out of the jaw. And, I think that might work. So I chopped off most of the snake, and maybe I'll regret that one day when I want to use a full snake, but I kind of love how this looks with the snake coming on the top, and I like these three colors together. I think it's quite nice. So the last thing to do is to glue everything together and get everything stuck in the journal so nothing falls out. That would be bad. We don't want that. And I'm actually pretty happy with both of these pieces. I like how both of them turned out. I love how much black and white there is. I feel like that's the kind of vibe we needed for today. And it's, you know, it's spooky but also goofy. And I think that's just sort of what I do. Spooky and goofy. I like it. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope you had fun coming on this collage journey with me. And if you liked this video, you could give it a thumbs up. You could hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I never say any of this stuff, but I feel like I should say it. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!